This video is going to be focusing on the bladderfish, and to start off with we are going to get straight into the general comment for the creature in its data log entry, which describes it as: this unusual herbivore appears to be mostly defenseless and bears little resemblance to the other life forms around it. There are also an additional 2 points in the entry itself which I will go over, and if there is any additional information that I can find I will include it. Semi-permeable bladder. The bladderfish is able to filter air and seawater into its body cavity through a unique membrane which surrounds its spine like a bladder. This allows it to remove and consume organic particulate caught on the way and adjust its buoyancy. This particular feature of the bladderfish makes it a prime candidate for the player to use it as a way to produce filtered water. Also, due to the fact that the bladderfish performs most of its bodily functions, including eating, through its bladders, it does not actually possess a mouth as it has no use for it. Open-ended vascular tubing can be angled and contracted to pump out water and achieve low-velocity guided propulsion. Underneath this there was a bit of additional information which reads: largely oblivious to threats and particularly immobile at night, its only identified defense mechanism is that it's composed almost entirely of water, air and cartilage. Despite this, due to the fact that the creature is very slow and obvious, they are also very easy to catch and consume. As well as this, there is even more information that wasn't included in this data log entry, which includes: while shoals of bladderfish do exist, they currently can only be found following reefback leviathans. Otherwise, they can be found either solo or in very small groups. The bladderfish can spawn in 8 different biomes, with those being the Grand Reef, grassy plateaus, kelp forest, mushroom forest, safe shallows, sea treader's path, lost river, and one that includes a story spoiler, the primary containment facility aquarium. Also, if you put a bladderfish into the bioreactor, then it will produce 210 energy. The overall assessment for this creature as seen in the data log entry: edible, oxygen may be retrieved from the bladder and added to tanks on consumption, membrane has applications as a natural water filter. But that's not all. Found exclusively in another area of Planet 4546b, a distant relative of the bladderfish resides called the hoopfish. So let's get straight into the general comment for this creature in its data log entry, which describes it as: small, school mentality preyfish with a unique method of propulsion and a distant relative of the bladderfish. There are also an additional 3 points in the entry itself which I will go over, and if there is any additional information that I can find, I will include it. Antennae. Rather than swimming, this lifeform uses the fine green antennae which encircle its body to alter the composition of the water in front of it, allowing it to sail into the low density space created. The antennae form a hoop-like shape around the body of the hoopfish, thus giving it its name. The antennae have a bright green bioluminescence. Purple/green coloration. Maybe a camouflage adaptation for mid-range light wavelengths, possibly indicating the hoopfish is more active at dawn and dusk. Behaviour. While schools of hoopfish will form periodically and evade predators en masse, this behaviour is more social than it is defensive, and lone hoopfish are often found hunting for food and displaying generally curious behaviour. As well as this, there is even more information that wasn't included in this data log entry, which includes: hoopfish are one of the easiest species to catch on Planet 4546b, as they are also reasonably slow swimmers. It is not uncommon to see hoopfish swimming around in shoals or even groups of 3 or 4 following a reefback leviathan. The hoopfish can spawn in 12 different biomes, but for the sake of this video I'm not going to read them all out. And also, if you put a hoopfish into the bioreactor, then it will produce 210 energy. The overall assessment for this creature as seen in the data log entry: edible. But again, that's not all. Found exclusively in another area of Planet 4546b, a close relative of the hoopfish resides called the spinefish. So let's get straight into the general comment for this creature in its data log entry, which describes it as: small, school mentality preyfish closely related to the hoopfish. There are also an additional 2 points in the entry itself, which I will go over, and if there is any additional information that I can find, I will include it. Grey coloration. A combination of near translucent flesh with white rib-like markings gives this fish a deathly appearance. It takes advantage of this to avoid the attention of its predators. Behaviour. Moves in schools for protection but will disperse and flee if necessary, whereon those fortunate enough to escape the gaze of their assailants will make for the sea floor and hide among the detritus. As well as this, there's even more information that wasn't included in this data log entry, which includes: like the hoopfish, the spinefish is one of the easier species to catch on planet 4546b as they are reasonably slow swimmers. It is not uncommon to see the spinefish travelling around in shoals. The spinefish can spawn in 10 different biomes, with the main ones being the Blood Kelp Zone, Blood Kelp Caves, Bone Fields Caves and Lost River. Also, if you put a spinefish into the bioreactor, then it will produce 210 energy. The overall assessment for this creature as seen in the data log entry: edible, low calorie count. If you enjoyed this video, then make sure to like, subscribe and hit that bell notification icon if you never want to miss another upload from Project Archivist. If you want to support the channel, then you can do so by becoming a channel member through the join button on the channel homepage. There is also a link in the description. And with that, that's all for today's video. Thanks for watching and we'll see you in the next one.